Good morning. Wow, what a hot weekend. My goodness. And I can tell you that being in church with extra layers of polyester on was not my idea of fun, although it was a good weekend. How are you this morning? What am I going to say? I'll just go straight in with it, shall I? So yesterday I was sat in the garden and I was having a glass of lemonade, and there was only lemonade. It was too hot to put alcohol in there. I'm sitting trying sort of like a starfish, just trying to keep cool. I said, oh, what am I going to do my just 5 minutes on tomorrow? And one of my offspring had been quizzing me difficult questions like, who do you think is most impressive, Jesus or Moses? And then I had to justify my response. Okay, and I chose Jesus. What about out of Abraham and Moses? Who do you think of those was the most amazing person? So I had to justify my response. And this went on and on and on. Anyway, so I then said, what am I going to do in my just 5 minutes on tomorrow? And he came up with something. And he said, well, shouldn't you talk to people about how important it is that they forgive themselves? He said, because it's all very well you talk about God's forgiveness, but... And he then went on to explain to me that in his experience, he sees people who find it very hard to let themselves off, to forgive themselves for things that have gone on, and that it's all very well and good to say that God forgives us and that we forgive each other. But self-forgiveness is incredibly hard. And I thought, yeah, that's a good one. We'll do that. So I went rooting around in the Bible, of course, to see what I could find. And I'm going to read you the traditional and I'm going to read you the Message version of something, because it was one of those rare occasions where the Message didn't quite nail it. But anyway, this is what is in one of Peter's letters. I can't remember who Peter was writing to. Let me have a little quick look, shall I? One of Peter's letters, it just says he's writing to the early church. And he says this: be content with who you are and don't put on airs. God's strong hand is on you. He'll promote you at the right time. Live carefree before God. He is most careful with you. Which is lovely, but didn't quite nail what I was trying to achieve. So if I read it to you from the more traditional language, not old, but just a precise translation rather than a paraphrase. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, so that he may raise you up in due time. Cast all your anxiety on him, because he cares for you. Didn't quite nail it in terms of self-forgiveness, does it? But I think there's a message in there about how God tells us that he forgives us whatever we present to him as a weakness or a failing or a problem. And if he forgives us, then why on earth shouldn't we forgive ourselves? It's really clear. If we are truly sorry, then we're forgiven. And so forgiveness from ourselves should come automatically on the back of that, because God's done it already. So why is it so hard to forgive ourselves? Why can't we just let go and say, do you know what? It's okay. It's okay. Human nature's hard, isn't it? The other thing I learned about all of this was that sometimes the inspiration comes from unlikely sources. And I have to say that young person isn't an unlikely source for inspiration, but he's not Christian. He's searching, and he's very spiritual and goes in all sorts of directions, possibly more towards Buddhism than anything else. But he'd nailed the condition of humanity, hadn't he? And he's absolutely right. We forgive each other, but we don't forgive ourselves. And I thank him for that wisdom. And I'm reminded that we should listen carefully to everyone around us, because even if they're not quite like us, or even if we don't think they're as experienced, but basically everybody has something to offer us as a piece of wisdom, don't they? And we should keep our hearts and minds open to that. Where do you get your wisdom from? Yeah, lots of places, I am sure. And so with that, I am going to head off into what is potentially going to be a rather rainy day. I'm meeting the prison chaplain this morning, and really pleased to make that as a new connection for the work in our locality. I hope you have a good day today, and I shall see you soon. Lots of love and God bless. Bye bye.